Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Elena. I'm an external member, but in a certain way, because I'm talking to you as the chairman of Filse, but at the same time, I'm a full professor of the University of Genoa, so I have two different hats, let's say, and it is a great pleasure for me to participate in this project, of course, with Maria Nives Riggio, who will follow my presentation with some technical details about the EcoeFISHent project. I will, of course, my lesson will be in English, even though I know that probably all of you are Italian. So my English is much worse than my Italian, but we are required to speak in English. So, okay, let's try to speak in English. But if I miss some words, I will feel free to add some Italian words so that maybe you can understand me better than speaking in English. But let's see. Let's see, and let's start with my presentation. As I was saying, I will tell you something about the circular economy. Nives, no, can you, Elena? I think you should let us share or I don't know who has the power to let us share the screen.
We are not able to share.
Maybe Filippo.
Yes, you have now the power to share the screen. Yes, you're co-organizers now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Should be able. Okay.
See. Okay. Can you see the slide, the presentation?
Yes. Yes, perfectly. Not now.
Yeah.
Second. Okay.
Now?
No, maybe it's loading. Okay, now we can see the slides.
Okay. Can you see it full screen now?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
full screen.
Okay. So I was saying that my focus will be on the circular economy. It's a sort of an introduction concerning the circular economy, and of course, the first thing that we have to underline is the difference between the two different conceptions of the economy, the linear and the circular economy. As you can see on the left, we had in the last at least 50 years, but maybe more, let's say that this kind of linear economy to take resources from the planet, then make products, use the products, and then dispose and create waste and put the waste into the environment. This was the linear approach, let's say. Now we are trying to redesign the way the economy has to be, and the way is a circular way. So it's the first very important thing is to think of what you need, not just to make use, let's say, to use a product, but you have to focus on the whole life cycle of the product. So you don't have only to think at the moment where the product will be in your hands and when you will have to use it, but you also have to think to where and when the product will be dismissed, and what to do with the product when it is not used anymore. So you take raw materials from the planet, from the environment, and you have to think about the design. This is the so-called eco-design issue, and we will find it again in the next slides. Then you have, of course, the production. the retail, the consumption, etc., and then something changes because you do not dispose the product, but you try to reuse it or to repair it. Even this concept of the repair is very important. We will see that at the European level, we have new legislation. We will have new legislation about this issue. And then if you cannot reuse or repair, you still can recycle the product. So it is very important, of course, the waste sorting and let's say separate collection of waste, so that we can say that a material will never die, it will never end, and it will begin a new life. Maybe as the same product, or maybe as a new product, as a different product, or as a different part of a different product. But this is the circular approach, and of course, this approach aims to use less raw materials from the planet than the linear approach. So the circular economy is usually based on 3 R's. The first R is reduce, the second R is reuse, and the third R is recycle. So, as we said before, reduce the use of raw materials, then reuse the products whenever you can, and if you cannot reuse the products, recycle them. This is let's say, the simplest way to think at the circular economy. But we have also a new way that adds 4 more R's, let's say, to those 3 R's. As you can read below, the 7 R's rule has become popular. It is a sort of an evolution of the 3 R's rule. The new R's are redesigned products to eco-design, as you said before, repair to extend the useful life of damaged products, renew products, and recover waste. So we had it here in the collection part, the orange arrow, let's say, here in this previous slide. So the recover of the waste so that it can be reused in the production process. What are the benefits? No, I have one slide. Sorry, just a second. I think we have not the latest. Okay, I have to move a slide. Okay, here, great. Okay, so what are the benefits of the switch to the circular approach? Of course, as we all can imagine, the first benefit concerns the environment. So the first goal of the circular economy is to protect the environment. But at the same time, we have to think that it will never work if it's only something that is related to the environment, because people need, or at least they want products, and the companies want to produce, and we know that we live in let's say, capitalistic system, and it would be let's say, unreal to think that we can completely change the way the economy and the society go. So what we can say is that we have to balance the environmental benefit with the economic and social benefits. And so the switch to the circular economy has to keep balanced the three different benefits. With the circular economy, we have many studies which say that with the circular economy, we will create lots of new jobs. Of course, new kind of jobs, different jobs. So something that is not known, and maybe something that will require new studies, as we are doing today, of course. No, but there is a new market that is opening with the circular economy, and the aim of this transition is to do the transition without any prejudice to the economy and to the society, because of course the economy is a certain way linked to the social conditions of the people. So it is not possible to forget the social aspects of and call it the circular transition. Okay, this is the approach that we can find at different levels. We can find it at an international level. We can find it at the European Union level, and then we can find it, of course, at the national and also, let's say, at a local level. But let's start with the international level. And here, the most important document so far is the Agenda 2030. The Agenda 2030 was passed, was approved under, let's say, the umbrella of the United Nations in 2015. This is a very important document, and almost 200 countries adopted it. 193 countries adopted the Agenda 2030. This agenda has 17 different goals, and each goal has different targets that in a certain way specify the goal. So we have in total 169 targets. So I was saying 17 goals and 169 targets. One of the 17 goals is concerns, as you can see, the responsible consumption and production. This is goal number 12. And of course, this is crucial, let's say, of course, very, very important for our circular economy. But to understand more in depth what the goal number 12 is related to, we have to study the specific targets related to goal number 12. And here, I know that it's almost impossible to read because it's very, very small, the character, but I will try to read something for you. Not all, of course, not all of the targets, but we can focus on some of them. And for example, you can see on the third bullet point that one of the targets is by 2030 to halve per capita global food waste at the retail consumer levels and reduce food losses along production supply chains. Okay, so this is a very specific target. We will have 50% less of food waste. And this is, of course, crucial for the circular approach. Then let's see the following bullet point. Achieve the environmentally sound management of chemicals and all waste. Then again, reduce waste generation. Another points again, but the important thing to focus is on is that waste is one of the most important aspects, one of the most important issues for the circular economy and to achieve a circular approach. But of course, it's not just about waste. As you can see, we have other less immediate, maybe, strategies. One of them, for example, is to promote the public procurement practices that are sustainable in accordance with national policies and priorities. What does it mean, public procurement? This is the so-called GPP, Green Public Procurement. It means that all the public bodies, all the public administrations will have to buy anything they can buy, tables, chairs, or food, or any other thing, considering not only the price. Okay, usually in the last decades, when a public body, when a public administration had to buy something, it principally focused on the price of the product. And now this is not this will not be the most important driver, because we will have another very important driver, that is, of course, sustainability. So you can imagine if all the public bodies start to buy sustainable products, of course, and for example, products with a specific detail about the life cycle assessment, for example, of course, this will foster the circular transition. And then another, the last one on the bottom line, rationalize inefficient fossil fuel subsidies. This again is something that maybe is not so immediate, but this is an economic strategy that, of course, will put in a certain way out of the market products, fossil fuel and other things that are not compatible with the circular transition. Okay, this is about the international level. Then we have a very, very important, let me say that maybe the most important regulation level is the European level. And the European level is, let's say, the heart, the center of the European regulation about the circular economy is the European Green Deal. The Green Deal is this huge program that was started in 2019 by the new president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. And the Green Deal, let's say the most important, the main goal of the European Green Deal is making the European Union climate neutral in 2050. So this is the final goal, the climate neutrality in 2050. But to achieve this goal, we have to do a lot of things, and very quickly, let's say, between now and 2050. As you can see on the screen, there are lots of programs, of projects, but one of them, and one of the most important, is the transition to the circular economy. In the European perspective, the transition towards a circular economy requires these three different, let's say, aspects. First one, the value of products, materials, and resources is maintained in the economy for as long as possible. You can see this is exactly the opposite of the linear approach. The second issue is, as usual, waste. So waste generation has to be minimized. And as we already said, we have to be very careful because we cannot think that we cannot only protect the environment. We also have to bring economic, social, and of course environmental gains. Let's see. In this is a sort of a summary, but let's see some of the EU policies related to circular economy. We have some specific policies, as you can see, that are very, very interesting and that are very different one from the other. Plastics, for example, EU action on plastic production and pollution to contribute to a circular economy. Of course, the problem of the pollution made by plastics is a very important one. And of course, as you know, and as you will see, this is strictly linked with the blue economy and everything that is inside the water. Okay, so the EcoeFISHent project is exactly in the middle of that. Then again, waste and recycling. We will always find waste when we talk about circular economy. We have a specific action of the European Union concerning waste management, treatment, and recycling, and I will add something in the next slide. We have, this is very interesting, the green claims. The European Union is trying to pass new laws concerning the so-called greenwashing. So it is very important. If you look at the television, if you read a newspaper or whatever, any kind of advertisement of a company says something about sustainability, says something about green. We are green. We are sustainable. We are the best in the sustainability process, etc., etc. So, of course, it's very unlikely that we have only number ones, only champions. Okay, so this means that many companies try to seem what they are not, and that we have to set new rules to avoid the so-called greenwashing. Greenwashing means that you try to appear greener than you are. Okay, so the green claims regulation will be in the next years very, very, very important. Another very interesting and very important and very new aspect concerns the repair of goods, consumer rights for easy and attractive repairs of goods. We will see it later, maybe, but let me just say that the European Community, the European Union is passing a new law concerning the right to repair. Now, if we have a cell phone, if we have a laptop or whatever, usually it's harder to repair it than to change it, to throw it away. And throw it away means that we throw away a lot of dangerous materials, okay? Maybe without recycling, just we put it in a garbage can, and we buy a new phone, a new laptop, or whatever. Okay, because if you want to repair it, you have to ask to the company and to send it to Milan or to London or wherever, and you will stay for 6 months without your laptop, and so on, etc., etc. So the European Union is trying to force the companies to make it much easier to repair technical devices or whatever. Okay. Another very important and maybe less known issue is concerns textiles. We will see that textiles are a very, very, very big problem that has to be solved, and that a very important percentage, let's say, of the global pollution is made by textiles. Then we have other interesting specific policies, but I think that we can go on, otherwise I will talk for 3 hours, and we can switch to the tools, because of course it's not enough to focus on the policies. Then we have to say, how can we do what we want to do? And so we come to tools and instruments, and here we have, I do not have the time to stop on each of these tools, but as you can see, there are many different specific instruments to achieve the policies that we have seen before. Let me just focus on the first one, the EU Eco Label. This is very important. There is it is not new, something that goes on from more than 10 years, but now we have a sort of a eco-label system in the European Union. What is the eco-label? Is a label that is awarded to products which have a certain environmental excellence. And so this means that when a consumer wants to buy, for example, a television or a car or whatever, he or she can be driven in his or her choice by the presence of this eco-label. It means I see the eco-label, I know that this product have passed say the controls that the European Union required to get this sort of proof of environmental excellence. Again, another very important issue when we talk about circular economy is this document, the Circular Economy Action Plan, the new Circular Economy Action Plan, the one of 2020. We already had another Circular Economy Action Plan before, but this is the new one, and this is completely new. And this is the action plan which has been approved, let's say, in a certain way inside the European Green Deal. This is the official screenshot of that you can find on the European Commission website, and you can read. This is the Circular Economy Action Plan inside the European Green Deal. So what does the action plan provide and say about the circular economy? As you can see, it's one of the main building blocks of the European Green Deal. The European Union's transition to a circular economy will reduce pressure on natural resources and will create sustainable growth and jobs. This is, again, the necessary balance that we have, as we said before, that we have to control and to guarantee among environment, economic growth, and society and jobs, of course. it is also a prerequisite to achieve the European Union's 2050 climate neutrality target. I told you before that the final objective, the final goal of the European Green Deal is to reach the climate neutrality, and the transition to the circular economy is considered one of the, as I said, prerequisite to achieve this goal, and also to halt biodiversity loss, of course. This is something written in the second bullet point, is something written in the action plan. There is only one planet Earth, yet by 2050 the world will be consuming as if there were three. And some studies say maybe even before than 2050. So you see that the consumption of many materials is expected to double in the next 40 years, while the waste generation is projected to increase by 70%. You can imagine, it's unbelievable, but this is true. And as the European Union says, we have to act immediately, otherwise it will be too late. Again, the action plan is, let's say, knows that, understands that the transition to circular economy will be disruptive at times. So it has to be fair, it has to be just, okay? This has to be, as they say, a just transition. And to be fair, it will require an alignment and cooperation of all stakeholders at all levels. So this is an important issue, and is directly linked to democracy. We have to think to new forms of democracy, sort of a participatory democracy where everyone who is in a certain way involved in the transition could raise his hand and speak before the transition happens. So it is very important to participate, and it is very important that the European Union and member states adopt new regulation, new laws to guarantee the democratic participation in this process. Otherwise, if it is a sort of a top-down process, it will not work, and it will create, even though maybe it will save some environmental aspects, it will create costs, social costs. And as the researchers have demonstrated, a social cost is sort of let's say, carries with it a new environmental cost, as it, because if we increase the well-being of the population, it is easier to protect the environment. Otherwise, if we create new social tensions, and if people lose their jobs and so on, we will create new environmental, as a sort of consequence, we will create new environmental issues. So it is crucial that the transition is a fair and just transition. As you can read, the European Action Plan is only
I think.
Okay. The action plan, the European action plan is only one part of the whole strategy, because each member state has to adopt or update the national circular economy strategies. And in fact, for example, in Italy, we passed, I think last year, I don't remember if 2021 or 22, the new circular economy strategy, which is directly linked with the PNRR, you know, with our recovery and resilience plan, and of course, which is linked to the European action plan. But of course, we do not have time to focus on that. Let's instead focus on the objectives of the European action plan. The different measures that will be introduced aim to make sustainable products the norm in the EU, empower consumers and public buyers, and this, of course, is very important because, as we all know, the majority of the European citizens do not have any idea of what they buy and of what kind of effects the products that they buy can have on their health, on the environment, and so on. I can tell you one thing is quite my son some days ago taught me that there is a free app which is called Yuka. Okay, I don't know if someone of you already know Yuka. Yuka, with a sort of a carrot in the design here. This app allows you to go at the supermarket and to scan any kind of product and to check what is inside and the dangers that are linked with the additives and other things. So, for example, this is an example. We have to study, okay? And someone at the different levels has to empower us and to make us informed consumers. And we are not informed consumers. And of course, the less you study, and the less if you have worse social conditions, in many cases you have many knowledge of what you're buying and of the choices that you do as a consumer. So this is of course, you cannot change millions of people in 6 months. But this is a very important aim, a very important goal that has to be followed and that has to be achieved in the long term with this transition strategy. Then there are some specific sectors. The focus of the action plan is on the sectors that use most resources and of course the sectors where the potential for the circularity is high. For example, as we said, electronics, ICT, batteries, vehicles, packaging, plastics, and as I said before, many of you, I think you do not know, I didn't know, but textiles are one of the most important problems. Of course, buildings, of course, food, water, and nutrients. Again, less waste, and this is very easy to understand, and other things less important. Okay, so again, the focus areas at the European level. We have three main focus areas. Sustainable product policy framework, key value chains, and again, less waste, more value. Very quickly, let's focus on this. Let's focus on the sustainable product policy framework. As you can read, many products break down too quickly, cannot be reused, repaired, or recycled. And many are conceived and made for single use. Okay, so this means that consumers do not repair products, as we said before, find too many labels, and some green claims are misleading. Okay, and this is the greenwashing issue that I told you before. This means that the European Union has to do something to revert this approach, and of course there is something that can be done by the companies, focusing on the eco-design, as we said before, but there is also something that has to be done by the regulator at, as we say, the legislative level, the regulatory level. And you should know that in March 2023, so a few months ago, the European Commission passed a proposal, so it's not a European law so far, but we will see. By now, it is a proposal for a directive on common rules promoting the repair of goods. And as I told you before, this is a very important pillar, because if it's passed, and I think it will be passed in a certain way, we do not know the details, but it will be passed, we will have a new, as consumers, but as citizens, we will have a new, very important right, which is the right to repair our products. And this will completely change the approach to the economy in a circular way. This will definitely breach the linear approach that we are used to. Then the other very important issue, as we know, is the less waste, more value. I think I do not have time to focus on these details, but let me just tell you that at the European level, we have always had so-called framework directive concerning waste. The first waste framework directive dates back to 1975, the year I was born, so it's quite old. This framework directive has been updated several times in the last decades. But you have to know that in July 2023, so 3 months ago, this framework, the Commission passed again a proposal for a revision of the Waste Framework Directive. But the Commission says this will be a targeted revision. So this means that this will be a specific revision that concerns specific aspects of the directive. And again, this is quite surprising, but very, very interesting. The most important revision concerns textiles, and the proposal is to extend the extended producer responsibility, EPR, so-called, also to textiles in all European member states. What does it mean? The EPR, so the extended producer responsibility, is, let's say, a principle which states that you, the producer, you are responsible not only when you create a product or not only when you sell a product, but you are responsible for all the life of the product. And this principle, this extended producer responsibility principle, normally is related to electronic products, to electronic devices and things like that. But now the European Union wants to extend this EPR principle also to the production of textiles. Okay, so what does it mean? That the producer of anything related to textiles has to be responsible for the entire life cycle of the product. So not only when you say, if you go to a shop and you buy a T-shirt, the producer is still linked by a responsibility to the product by a responsibility, an extended responsibility principle, because if you buy anything as a T-shirt or whatever, the producer has to think to what you will do after the use of that product. And this is something that goes, of course, again, the how do you say, I don't know in English, but I don't know even in Italian, the fast fashion or something like that. No, that you buy something, you use it once or twice, then you throw it away and you pollute. You're free to pollute. No, this will change, and the producers of this kind of products will be kept responsible for their products. A lot of things, different things have already been done, or let's focus, for example, on a farm-to-fork strategy. Again, this is not something new, but it's something very important because, of course, this farm-to-fork strategy is something that wants to look at the at food and feed in a global, with a global approach. So it's not enough to focus on one of the different phases of all this. You have to consider the farms, so the animals, the quality of feed and everything, and then you have to follow the different steps until you arrive to the fork. Okay, and this is, let's say, a global, holistic approach that the European Union has, and that is very important. And maybe this is one of the first global approaches that the European Union tried to conceive related to environmental issues. And we can say that now the whole circular economy approach is something similar. I mean, is something holistic, is something that has a certain way a global approach. The last thing that, well, no, just a couple of things more. Of course, what we have seen cost a lot of money, and someone has to fund this transition. the European Union has a lot of money, of course, and a lot of money is, let's say, reserved to the transition to the circular economy. The most important program that we had in the past years was the Horizon 2020. The Horizon 2020, if I'm right, was from 2014 maybe to 2020 or something like that, and is the program which funded the EcoeFISHent project with, I think, 50 millions. Okay, and so this has been a very, very important program at the European level. Now, the Horizon 2020 has been replaced with a new program, which is called Horizon Europe, which is even richer than the Horizon 2020, because the Horizon Europe has almost 100 billion euros to be spent in these fields. So the innovation strategy and the innovation funding by the European Union is very, very important, because, as we say in Italian, non si fanno le nozze coi fichi secchi. I don't know how to say it in English, but I think that you can understand. If you do not have money, you cannot improve, you cannot really, let's say, realize these goals and these projects. So this is the most important program, but we also have a lot of other forms of financing and other kind of funds, and a very important chapter is the regional policy, because here we can find European structural and investment funds, and as maybe, I don't know, maybe you know Filse, our company every day deals with this kind of funds. We have something like 300 or 400 millions per year that we have to, yes, we have to manage, and we have to spend to aid, not only for the circular economy, of course, but to aid to sustain companies, and of course the green aspects, generic way, are now we have the new funding period, the new settennato, and the EU regulations are mainly focused on the transition, to a circular economy, certainly. And we also have other things, but I don't have time to focus on that. But let me conclude with something that maybe I was not sure. I didn't know if it was better to put this slide as the first one of the presentation or as the last one. In a certain way, it's the same, because it doesn't matter. I mean, but it is important to understand the difference between circular economy and green economy, because, of course, you can think that are synonyms, but this is not exactly correct, because, as you can see, the circular economy is something less than the green economy, as the circular economy focuses mainly on waste, waste management, waste prevention, and on resource efficiency. Whether the green economy also green economy includes all of that, so includes the circular economy, but also is also extended to the human well-being and, of course, to the ecosystem resilience. That is something, let's say, in a certain way linked but external to the circular economy. What happens in Italy and what happens in Filse? As I told you at the beginning, we have a sort of a layer cake. We have different layers, and the bottom layers are the national and the regional one. At the national level, we can proudly say that Italy is not so bad, and maybe something more, not so bad. Italy is one of the let's say of the European countries which have done more on these aspects. Let's, for example, say that Italy is the only country at the European level which stated that the green public procurement, so what we said before, the fact that you have to buy green if you are a public body, are mandatory. Okay. In the other countries, they're adopted, the green public procurement is adopted on a voluntary basis. In Italy, it is mandatory. And on a lot of other issues related to circular economy, we have done very good things. But of course, the most important thing that we have to underline is that in 2022, we reformed our constitution, adding the protection of the environment as a fundamental principle of our constitution. And of course, even though, as we said, environment is not the circular economy, there is an overlapping, but it's no complete coincidence. But at the same time, we can, of course, say that this reform, and I say it again, the fact to add the protection of the environment to the fundamental principles of the Italian constitution is the most important legal basis for any kind of law, any kind of decree, or whatever to foster the transition to the circular economy. Just few words again, but 30 seconds to tell you what are we doing at a regional level. As Filse, we are the financial company of Regione Liguria, and we are trying to, let's say, turn ourselves to this new kind of approach. I mean that, of course, as I told you, we have to manage a lot of money, a lot of public money, a lot of European money, and we have to give this money to the companies. But in this case, we are not free to decide because the regulation and the rules and the limits are set directly by the European Union and in a certain way by the Liguria region. But we can decide how to behave as a public company, and we are trying to make our transition to a, let's say, circular approach. And so it would be too long to tell you, but we will have a sustainability reporting. We will become a benefit company. It means that we will have as statutory goals the environment and the environmental and the social goals, and so on. So when you talk about circular economy, at the beginning you think that is something very, very broad. It's very broad concept, and is something that is very difficult to understand. Yes, but what are you doing? What are the real consequences? And so it seems something very theoretical. But as I hope that I showed you, then this very theoretical and broad approach comes to an end, comes to specific actions that are really changing our economy and our society. Thank you very much.
Just a minute. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I am Nives Riggio. Can you see the slide, the first slide? Filippo, can you tell me if the slide is sharing? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. My role today is to give you an overview of the project EcoeFISHent. During this course, you could learn for every single topic of this project more and more with all the speakers that are involved in this important course. Why Filse for EcoeFISHent? Professor Cuocolo already said, but Filse is the public company, in-house company of Liguria region, and our role is to develop the economic policy and strategies of Liguria region and of the other public bodies in Liguria. And we manage many public funds, as Lorenzo said before, and also we develop many European projects. And in this context, we are the coordinator of the EcoeFISHent project, which is a project that, if I had to synthesize the object, the aim, the principal aim of the project is no more waste from fish, no more waste from fishing and aquaculture nylon nets. We will use it totally, usefully. So we are perfectly focused in the targets of the goal 12 of the 2030 agenda that Lorenzo, of which Lorenzo before was speaking. The project aimed to develop a replicable cluster, which is based here in Liguria, in this case, implementing a systemic solution through multi-level circular value chains for eco-efficient valorization of fishing and fish industries side stream. The project has started in the last October 2021, and the ending is planned for the September 2026. So 5 years of project. This is a very important, a big and important project. The value, the complex value of the project is more than 18.5 millions for a contribution by the European Union of more than 15 million euros. Why EcoeFISHent? The speakers that are coming after my presentation will explain it better, also with the data that have been at the origin of this project. But the main drivers are that we will have a global fish production of about 200 million tons by the 2026. Consequently, the fish production side stream will increase due to the fish processing activities. So we need to create a resource-efficient, decarbonized economy and the jobs about this kind of economy. And also we have to avoid bycatch for a more sustainable selective fishing practice, and also to avoid the plastic litter and microplastics for innovation in logistic product process design in this field. The main issues that we are seeing now is in this field is the decreasing demand supply outlook in the fish industry sector, the increasing of plastic and ghost gear in marine litter, the increasing of ghost fishing and bycatch, consequently the anthropic pressure on the blue ecosystem, and also there is and the data will be more explained on this, and employment stagnation at the EU level in marine life and resource industrial related domains. So we need, and this is the need that has moved the starting of this project, a systemic approach within green and blue economies in terms of efficiency and sustainability. The opportunities that we have the opportunity to use the biomass feedstock for the EU industrial economic growth. We also can use this to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, also to reduce the fossil-based product resource dependency. This can we have the opportunity to rise the cost effectiveness of the fish industry side streams treatment for many value applications, and also to develop innovative biomass treatment and extraction available for processing side streams, and also by conversion tech available for sustainable use of fishing side streams. In particular, this project, I will explain better later, have two innovative technological solutions. So thanks to the creation of a cluster, this cluster that I mentioned before. This cluster will be replicable, will be collocated in a specific territorial area, on specific, yes, in a specific territorial area, of course, with marine and fishing activities. And this cluster is based on climate neutral circular economy inspired principle, with the creation of 6 circular value chains interconnected each other in a blue and green economies network. From these 6 value chains, we could obtain bioactives and gelatin. We will see better later, for food supplements, skincare products, biodegradable and compostable barrier layer for food packaging, and also fertilizer, biodiesel, polymer for also automotive constituents. Elena Grasselli already explained before. So these are the 6 value chains of EcoeFISHent. The first, from fish to food. We could process side streams as bioactive ingredients for high value added food supplements and nutraceutical products. From fish to cosmetics, we have employment of bioactives from fish processing side streams as key ingredients for skincare products. From fish to pet, we are developing application of fish side streams in the development of biofilm barrier for sustainable food packaging. Here is green label. From fish to soil, with the bioconversion process barriering insect, black soldier flies, with the organic side streams, we will obtain insect oil and chitin together with alternative soil fertilizer. From fish to soil improver, biodegradable and compostable fish crates derived from agro side streams are designed to return to the soil, offering nutrient-rich soil improvers to be used in agricultural application. From fish to cars and pets, recycling of fishing nets coming from fishing and aquaculture industry will be applied in the automotive industry and cosmetic packaging. How can we do this? We have 2 innovative technologies. The first one is the fish processing, the EcoeFISHent pre-processing pilot units. We will have 2 pilots of this technology. The first one will be in the site of General Conserve in Olbia. General Conserve is a fish, a tuna factory, I think you know, and the other one here in Genova, managed by AMIO, GEAM. And this is a technology developed by the partner, one of the most important partner of our project, Themis, that will design and that will manufacture the pilot based on a patent technology to obtain dry bioactive concentrated ecofish powder. This powder preserving the biochemical properties of the bioactives during the dehydration, concentration, stabilization, and condensation phases. From these powders, we could have extraction purification for many products into food supplements, cosmetic, and so on. The importance of this pilot is that it can process different side streams coming from aquaculture as well as coming from the market network. And this is very important because this kind of circular use is not usual and is not already on the market. The second innovation is insect bioconversion loop by rearing black soldier flies, set up by another partner of our project, Nives, that it is aimed to convert organic waste into insect biomass. The bioconversion process involves feeding insect larvae with the organic residue, and it is aimed to product insect oil, chitin, and alternative soil fertilizer called FRAS. This plant will be siting in the University of Genoa site with the collaboration of Nives, our partner from Bulgaria. So at the end of this 6 value chains, what will we have high-added value products by eco-efficient exploitation of fish processing side stream to produce food supplements and skincare products in the nutraceutical and cosmetic industrial sector. Gas barrier biopolymer coating for compostable biopackage for oxidation-sensitive food, bioconversion for producing alternative fertilizer or for oil for biodiesel and chitin, EcoeFISH boxes, an efficient recycling process of nylon to obtain automotive components and cosmetic packaging. And more in general, we will improve the ecosystem health to reduce bycatch, also testing new breed of fishing boats, remove ghost gears, and also investigate further sustainable processes option to collect, clean, and recycle the ghost gear material. To develop this ambitious project, we need many competencies, and the consortium of this project is a very large consortium. We are 34 partners. Many from Italy, most of them in Liguria, but also from Italy in general. Then we have 4 other partners from 4 European countries, 3 European countries: Spain, Bulgaria, and France. 2 other associated countries, Israel and Norway, and 1 from an extra EU country, from Kenya. All these partners, public and private, are necessary for and important for their experience, knowledge, and also technology, and all of them are necessary for the complex structure of this project, very articulated and very complex in the management of all the 6 value chain that we are building, and also for the building, the construction of our cluster, territorial cluster, and for the replicability of this cluster, which is one of the most important value of this project, because we are now creating a cluster in Liguria, but we at the end of the project we will be able to replicate it in every part of the world with the same characteristic of this cluster, thanks to a technology also of replicability that we are developing in the project. Just to show how complex is the timeline for a project like this, then better than me, the other speakers following this lesson will explain. As you see, every 2 or 3 months we have an important topic, a milestone to arrive at the end of the project with all the goals that we want to aim, but we have also to we have to aim, of course, because the European Union has financed all these objectives. One of the most important and also difficult issue that we have in this project is the regulation. In fact, as Lorenzo said before, the regulation is very there is an evolution in the regulation towards the sustainability, but sometimes it's not so easy to matching the actual regulation with the needs that we have for the building, for the development of our chain. For example, how to storage and prepare side streams according the cold chain preservation and side streams transport. How about the phytosanitary regulation, the permission to transport animal byproducts category, the regulation about the pre-treat nets, the regulation about recycle EPLA, EcoFish boxes and airborns. All these issues must have an answer, and in this project we are checking and finding the answer, identifying and analyzing the traceability rules and requirements that the European regulation required. And in particular in the field of food safety policy. Another field of relevant for the regulation is the cosmetic and the nutraceutical product regulation. Here you can read the reference for the actual regulation, but we have to find procedures and records aligned with the requirements expected from legal frames, in particular of these regulations concerning the products on the food, feed, and cosmetic markets. So, the partners of the project will manage the need for the regulatory guidelines in the project, including technical guidance on procedures to follow to be ensure of the safety and respect of the applicable legislation. So we will provide also new guidelines at the EU level to maximize exploitation of fish, co-products, and side streams. Maybe we hope that these guidelines will serve the fish industry and bioactive and final product producers. And I also want to say that we are, thanks to the EcoeFISHent project, the European Commission, in particular in the CCRI program, has a strong, a deep attention to the results of EcoeFISHent, also in particular about the regulation that we are analyzing. So this is a very important issue, and I think that during this course you could learn in a very specific way this kind of regulation and what are the issues that we have to overcome. Of course, it is not possible to imagine a useful cluster without study and find the right financial flows and economic values of the system that we are creating. So we have to consider that all the managing of the sixth value chain, must be sustainable from a financial and economic point of view. So we are studying, analyzing the opportunities that the market could have in the fields of political, economic, social, technology, and legal. And in this, consequently, we can build our cluster, but according the market needs, because we need a financial and economic sustainable. So we will study a business plan for each one of the six value chain, and also the sustainability of the cluster all the cluster, with all the chains in the complex. And here you can see in this graphic the cluster. So you can recognize all the value chain, and you can also see that every chain is interconnected with the other. And also you can see the interconnected from the green and blue economy of this cluster. As I said before, the territorial cluster is now concentrated and developing in Liguria. But the processes will be implemented and tested also in other areas, also during the project. In particular, we will test the cluster and the model also in Spain and in Kenya. And here you can read how complex is, how articulated is the organization of the cluster. We need production companies, raw material suppliers, services providers, companies, of course, in related fields, and also public institutions, because the managing of the regulation and the authorization needs, and also many other aspects of the project needs the involvement of the public institution. The cluster will make use of a cloud-based platform for its management, and this also to guarantee the effective and efficient management of the logistics infrastructure. Also the cluster will be possible the cluster will be replicable thanks also to the use of a digital cluster twin. Enable the assessment of the replicability in other geographic domains, fostering prospective investments, as I said before. Thanks to these instruments, we will able to reply the cluster in other geographical areas. So this is the EcoeFISHent project in number. At the end of the project, we will have 10 different final products, 10 involved domains, at least 7 countries involved, 6 new circular value chains, and all of this in 5 years of duration. At the end, so the pillars of the project are its scientific results, the innovative technologies that we are implementing in the project, the defining of the processes, the articulated processes that compose the 6 value chains, and also the regulation, the analysis of and the defining of the regulation. All of this well placed in the market with the financial and economic sustainability. Could we hope about? We are certain of this. Will identify a territorial cluster and a model for the circular economy, in particular for the blue and green economy. And this is our objective, and with all the partners we are work on this. And I hope that, I am sure, and this course will explain in details all the topics, the issues, and also all the opportunities that this important project is developing. From my side, I am at the ending of the presentation.
Okay, thank you to our speakers. My name is Ludovica and I'm Filippo's substitute for this transition. And I see we have a question from one participant who's asking, how can we fight against greenwashing, which you have mentioned before, and is unfortunately spreading in the industrial world? I think it's for you, Professor Riggio. And
I think that is because about the greenwashing, it was for the intervention of Lorenzo Cuocolo, I think. I cannot read the question anymore. Why this?
She was asking, how can we fight against greenwashing, which is spreading in the industrial world? You can see it in the second section.
Yes, in the chat, but I can see it. It doesn't matter. I think that I think Lorenzo Cuocolo, I think, should answer to this, but I think that it's easy to understand what is greenwashing and what is a real green policy towards green, yes, sustainable policy. It's I think that it's a matter of course the regulation help in this case, because a strict regulation, the policies that the European Union is developing in the field of green economy, and all the programs that also Lorenzo Cuocolo explained are a frame in which all the subjects, in particular the private subject, has to move. So I think that the greenwashing is easily you can easily recognize if it's a matter of greenwashing or not from the according that the action of a subject, a company, an industrial, and so on, how is the action of this subject is in accordance with the regulation, and also the controller, who is yes, the controller of this regulation.